don't forget, it ain't the first 48, bro. It's 60 minutes, bro. That's my man Gus the Bus, y'all.
Yo, shout out Zone 32 podcast.
That's right. That's
Come with the king, you best not miss.
You're now locked into Zone 32.
All right, welcome back to Zone 32. Jake actually died last week, so he's not here. Grant still trying to make the roster. Wasn't able to make it tonight, but we do have a special guest.
This is a Zone 32 exclusive.
I'm not sure how many people in Ravens Twitter know you, Mo, but Drew and I just happened to come across you one day in an interesting, set of circumstances.
Slightly.
But Mo, why don't you introduce yourself and sort of give just some background on who you are?
Well, shouts out to Raven Flock on Twitter. I'm most on Mosby. Known to some, I don't promote this. I am the uncle, the first coach, the tutorial of the great James Prochet, our guy Drew's favorite player.
The favorite player of Zone 32.
J.K. Dobbins is overtaking him as my favorite player now. So
I've noticed, and what I like about Drew, man, you harsh as hell, but you funny, man. I appreciate comedy.
I am kind of a dick, so the guilty as charged there.
Well, yeah. First interaction we all had, which introduced us all to each other, was I forget what Drew said, but Mo called Drew a pedophile. So
I posted that.
It was a rough start.
I posted that office meme of if I was in a room with, I don't remember who.
I remember. I took that a little too personally, man. Yeah. I'll admit, I was in my feelings. But I tried to stay witty about it. Which I always try to do.
You called Drew a pedophile, and then I came in and said,
I don't remember that.
And then I came in and I said you were a terrible uncle.
Which I might be. That's still up for debate, man. I might be.
Well, we all apologize to each other behind closed doors. So.
I made fun of your music video.
Yeah, Will and I exchanged some
video. You laughed.
I know. I appreciate that, man. It comes with the territory, man. By the way, I'm a retired local rapper. Never was. But I still make a little side money doing my engineering and audio mixing bid. I do a little voiceover work too. And I even have a couple of IMDb hits doing some narration work for some local documentaries. But at my heart, I got to keep it real with y'all. I am a Saints Who Dat fan to the core. It was by birth. My mother, my roots are in Louisiana. You can tell by my nephew's last name. There's some Louisiana roots there. Living in Dallas, Texas, that's where we are. But since 2019, I've been super pro Ravens, and I fell into the Ravens Nation's algorithm by following all the local sports writers. And I come across your tweets, and you guys are fun, man. You guys are a fun fan base. Living in Dallas, in comparison to Dallas Twitter. And I'm heavily involved in that. You guys are a bit more rugged, man.
Oh yeah,
that was kind of bougie, nasty, but y'all like gutter nasty, which I can respect. I grew up in Detroit, but so I respect the gutter. Come from the gutter. Gutter makes diamonds.
Yeah, we're Ravens fans are a different breed of human being on Twitter. It's a fun time.
It is a unique following. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the super positive side. You get the assholes like me. You get the the constantly mad about everything crowd. It's interesting for people on the internet. Yeah. Will and I tend to find ourselves in the middle of all the controversy there too. So that's always fun.
Yeah, we have a magnet for that kind of thing.
I'm really good at that. It's a natural gift apparently.
So yeah, let's talk about the thing that's looming over our heads right now. Drew and I have been like some of the most negative people on the internet about your nephew.
There's a few others up there with y'all. Yeah. But that comes with being a pro athlete. Like if he was a middle school standout or a college standout, then I would be like, these guys are weird. But I'm a fanatic, and I know how pro sports goes. I used to say the same thing about AJ Klein as a Saints fan. Like, this dude is just, I'm not going to say that. As a nephew and as an uncle to a pro athlete, it hits a little different. It does hit a little different. But I am great at compartmentalizing life and what you choose to consume and, the way things work on that level. Because he's at the highest level and you are in front of eyeballs and critique will come with praise. So that's just how the game goes.
Yeah, and honestly, it started for me because his first training camp, he was getting the, every year the Ravens draft a guy late or sign an undrafted free agent that everybody talks up like, the next Jerry Rice or, they found the next, next late round gem, and people went way over the top. And I mean, there are like accounts dedicated to praising your nephew. So,
which I also find weird as fuck, but it's
Game
cool.
Regard 29 is one of them, right?
Yeah.
I don't know any handles that there's a couple that stand out if you said them. Cause I'm like, okay, this is a little over the top. I'm not even that hype about what's going down. I'm watching every offensive snap. Goddamn me.
Yeah, it started with those guys, and I was like, all right, like, whatever, 6th round pick, maybe it'll be something, maybe he'll, contribute. And obviously you get buried on the depth chart when you get drafted that late. And then everybody's talking about every year, like, oh, this is the breakout year's coming. The breakout year's coming. I was like, all right, like I've had enough of this shit. I need to go way left on that.
You got to be the antagonist, huh?
Yeah, I got to.
I respect it. I'm like that in my life in some ways. Like I can see the other side of the coin, and I can justify it just as good as I could justify my argument. And to be honest, you got a lot of fodder to use right now because he ain't put up no numbers yet. And he know that, but time will come.
See, the best part about this is that if he does, end up on the team this year and, actually like puts up big numbers, I can just blame Greg Roman. He'll be like, oh, it was Greg Roman's fault the whole time. And,
will you publicly admit that, Drew?
Well, here's what we're going to do.
Yes,
if you follow us closely enough, Drew and I always have a pivot ready. So if James ends up being great this year, you know why? Because Drew and I bullied him so badly that he just was driven to get better, and we are the reason that he is now playing well. That would be.
I would have to assume he has me blocked at this point. I would have to.
I'll send y'all some Channel 3 gear. When it does happen, if it does happen.
Yeah. I'm happy.
I will proudly wear it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So here's a question, because we all agree that he, like you just said, he hasn't been putting up the numbers. Why do you think it hasn't clicked?
NFL is a multitude of circumstances that come together. Of course, it's a lot easier road for the higher pick guys, the ones, the twos, the day 1 and 2 guys. But in my opinion, it's been a situation of bad luck. And then last year it turned into pressing to do the most with limited opportunities. And there was some opportunities missed as a result. But I think heading into last year, he was in a position to make an impact. And then there was an injury that wasn't much discussed. And I'm gonna give y'all some insight. This is my opinion. This ain't nothing he gave from me, but sometimes I come to these games and in Baltimore, I can stay in the same apartment with my nephew, and he leaves the building, he goes to the game, and then I make my way to the stadium and whatnot. And I can see the work they put in. I've seen some film, I've seen the practice footage, and the boy puts in work in practice, which is why y'all call him a training camp all-star, training camp
Jugs Machine James. Yeah.
Jugs Machine James. You got to put in the work to get there. But what I think happened last year was there was a hamstring tweak that caused him to miss some early games. And I think there was a moment in the Jets game that where he showed some initiative that maybe a third-year 6th-round pick shouldn't have shown in an offensive situation. And I feel like there is, which is the case for a lot of players, half the coaching staff loves him, half the coaching staff doesn't care for him. And that's the case with a lot of players in the NFL. But I think after that Jets game, combined with the hamstring tweak, the snaps were garbage time or heavy passing situation snaps. And then he gets an opportunity for a trick play. You press, you learn from it. I thought it was hella cool that my nephew threw a fucking interception in the NFL. That's dope as fuck.
See, that's like driven out without pivot right there. That's the pivot. That's your pivot.
It was dope. Like
that was the most confident interception I've ever seen thrown in my entire life. So I was sitting in the
Ravens
end zone
Twitter thing. The boy got a gun, and I tell y'all this, man. Like I've been in his life since he came out. His mama, rest in peace to my sister Tasha. But I've been his first coach in every sport he's played. Coached him up until middle school in most sports. Had he loved baseball, he would have been a hell of a baseball. Like
Yeah,
he could not be hit as a 11, 12-year-old. Like he
he,
was
like we said, he
a
looked
young
real
black
confident.
wild thing.
Yeah, he looked real confident letting that thing rip. It's just
I've never seen somebody more confidently throw a ball in quadruple coverage like that. Like he looked the part.
That NFL speed is different, bro. That NFL speed is different.
I'm telling
I don't
you,
know what he saw, but shit happens, man.
We all,
But,
every
hey,
single person,
Ravens Twitter gotta let that shit go. That's
every
one
single.
play.
Well,
y'all gotta let that shit go.
I'm the person who always brings it back up, but every single person watching that play had the exact same range of emotions happen where it's like, holy shit, we're running a trick play. Oh my god, it's James Prochet,
which is rare,
who has the ball, and then
who barely plays.
When he tapped the ball before he threw it, we were all like, yes, oh my god, it must be like, yeah, he sees something, and then he lets it rip, and we're like, whoa, look at that, looks great coming out of his hand, and then the camera pans, and it's like
tight spiral.
One Bronco, two Bronco, three Bronco, four Bronco.
All right. There was some guy on Twitter who made an edit and put that in a highlight reel, and I'm like, what's up with this dude? Like, I saw some video where James threw it, and it was like a completion to Robinson or some shit. I was like,
well, honestly,
let me talk on that play, Drew. I don't mean to cut you off. My bad.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
This play is popular amongst the James Prochet non-supporters. From the top of that play, didn't it look like that shit was destined for failure?
Oh yeah.
Right. From the alignment to the way it, that shit was destined for failure. So that was he's at fault, but so are the folks who greenlighted that play and everybody else on the field.
No, we all agree with that. That's how I look at it. We all.
I'm all for blaming Greg Roman for that one. I'm totally on board. Anything that wants to put the blame at his feet, I'm good with that. I mean, if you just took a video of just James on that play, and he threw the ball, I would have thought it was a touchdown. Yeah, I would have thought it was a touchdown.
Picture perfect.
Like,
why didn't he run? Why didn't he run?
You got to throw it up there, man.
I can't answer that. I can't answer
that. Run that.
But that's what I asked him. You know, as I'm way more. He and I together are way more critical than anybody on Twitter could be, which most athletes are. You know, they look at their shit. They know when they fucked up. They know when they could have did this, could have did that. And you have a moment to shine. And when you don't get opportunities, it's kind of human nature, which, you know, you got to protect against, but it's kind of human nature to say, I want to maximize this.
Yeah, I want the most.
I don't know when I'll get another. So I think I'm speculating. But when I told him, he was like, yeah, I should have took off with that. Like, you know, get backyard. And I think some kids who didn't grow up in the hood, you know, might be at a disadvantage. They didn't play, you know, in the street football street ball. And a lot of that awareness you get from street ball. You know, some kids are taught in the fundamentals of between the line sciences. I would say my boy ranks amongst the upper echelon because he took good, not great athleticism and maximized it. And that's what I think Ravens fans should appreciate. And besides that, he's a dope guy, a dope individual. Like the love y'all see him show to kids, that's just him.
Yeah, that video of him that just went viral was pretty cool, where he pulled the kid out of line and gave him the gloves. You know,
that's him, man. Every family reunion since he was a kid.
Well, and like last year,
Ravens Twitter gotta let that shit go.
Yeah, when he was inactive, he missed one game last year, right? Or
no, he missed two, and they were with hamstring tweaks. I want to say it was early in the year.
I think it was I was gonna say like week 2 or 3, and I liked what I mean, like you talk about liking the guy. He was on the bench like pumping everybody up. I was like, so then I appointed him like the director of morale or something for the Ravens. I was like, he found his new calling. But no, I mean, like I'm sure he brings positivity to the locker room and everything. It's just we got to get some production out of him, you know?
Yeah, you got to have an offense that kind of tries to feature the wide receiver though.
Yeah.
Like no wide receiver in Baltimore was utilized to maximize what they could bring to the table.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir with that one. I mean, I've been photoshopping Greg Roman's face onto Osama bin Laden for like 5 years. So that guy is just it's been a long time of them just not using guys like that correctly.
How much credence would you guys put in like some of the sound bites that come from Dez Bryant or Deshaun Jackson after their short tenure?
I don't like.
Do you think there's any validity, or do you just write that off as someone who's bitter?
The truth is somewhere in the middle of that. I think probably right.
I believe so.
Yeah, It's always been
I
guys to
believe so.
me that are sounding off publicly are guys that have an axe to grind, but are also kind of coming from the right spot. It's been like Hollywood Brown has been, will not shut up about the Ravens, but again has a lot of negative things to say about the offense, but also like he underperformed as a first round pick. So like he's got some,
Did he
he wants
really?
to put the blame. Yeah. Oh, definitely. The only
See,
thing he was top.
I would not say that.
So the only thing he was top 10 in was targets in any of the years that he was, with the Ravens. Like you drafted him to be your wide receiver one. And in reality, he was, I don't know, probably a high end two, maybe, really low end one, but he was never really like a top 15 wide receiver. And I feel like if you're, reaching and taking the first wide receiver in the draft, like that's what you're expecting is a bona fide stud number one wide receiver. And he was just not that. So like comes off as sour grapes when he talks about how bad the Ravens, offense was for wide receivers. And kind of the same thing with Dez of like, Dez was really good with Dallas. And then when he came to the Ravens, he was just not the same guy. He hadn't played football in a year. He was coming off, I think he tore his Achilles. And, he looked okay, but, he came in the season late, like didn't really,
He was a
wasn't with the
COVID. He
team
was a
all
COVID
year.
signing. Yeah, it was because
He was a COVID
because of
guy.
COVID.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, again, I understand like that he's played football a lot, knows a lot more X's and O's than I do from a wide receiver point of view, but also, I'm sure he was viewing the Ravens as his opportunity for his next contract, and that never materialized. Partially because I think he was just, not the same guy anymore. But also, I'm sure the Ravens held him back a little bit. And then Deshaun Jackson was a weird one. Like, I feel like there was more than just the offense with him. I think him and Harbaugh had some kind of problem too. I think that got reported. So again, it just always seems to be guys who come out and have, other issues besides the offense, and it's always to me, I'm like, there was definitely a problem there. That's why Greg Roman's not here anymore. But also, I would like, I don't know. We haven't really, Mark Andrews come out and say like "fuck Greg Roman." That would put a lot more weight behind it than.
He would never do that.
He would
Yeah,
never. You know why?
No,
Because he
he
had
would
the
never,
green
but-
light to do whatever the hell he wanted to in any passing concept.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
so
I
why
mean,
would you
that's
come out
definitely-
and
Yeah,
say
you
that?
could see there were times where he was, freelancing some routes there, and then he'd end up within 3 yards of his teammates, and then,
And then you know what would
happen?
happen? We would take and we as in the users of social media, we would take those screenshots of the poor spacing and we would blame it on Roman without understanding that there's somebody within that design potentially freelancing, freestyling.
I mean, you just
Or
described
doing what's
Sunday.
necessary to make a play. Like, so
Yeah.
there's a fine line in there. There's a nuance that the casual user don't understand. Like, I flamed out in college, but I was a pretty damn good athlete myself. I just wasn't a great student, and I like to party, and
Who doesn't though?
pretty women and
Right.
Yeah.
all that
All
good
that stuff. Yeah. All that stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, partying and pretty women are probably more important in school. So, I definitely understand that. As I have 2 college degrees framed behind me, but I was I played baseball in college at a small school, so I know that whole you get wrapped up in the you don't have to go to class all the time because the teachers kind of give you all the work ahead of time. Yeah, it was fun times in college, but yeah, that offense the Ravens ran since 2019 was like so frustrating to watch and so weird because it worked so well in 2019,
It was.
and then everything that worked well in 2019 just didn't seem to work after that. Greg
Personally-
Roman would call the same play 6 times, and it's like, all right, dude, like switch it up.
It was frustrating to watch as any fan of a wide receiver, especially if you got him in fantasy. Like, even from like the non-uncle bias, like it was a frustrating offense to watch. But what it did was it gave the Ravens the opportunity to win, and I can support that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when they
Sure.
were winning, it was fine. Like there was nothing I could complain about. But when they're losing games, and it's like I was
I mean, they were winning. I would tell Ravens fan, y'all been competitive pretty much every year since Harbaugh's been there. But since I've been watching every game 2019, you guys are just having bad injury luck, primarily at the QB position. But without that, there was an opportunity to threaten for a title each of the last 3 years. I feel like what I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were a number 1 seed in 2021 when Lamar went down, and I think they were 3rd seed last year when he went down. So
they were 2 or 3. Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they were 8-3, or right, 8-3, 8-4.
I think they were 8-4, but same thing. Like they were top of the AFC, and then he goes down, and again, I hate we've piled on Tyler Huntley for 2 weeks in a row now, but like he's just not Lamar, and that was part of the problem. And between him and Roman, it was just it didn't work.
For me, the biggest issue with Roman was the situational play calling. Always, I just like he could call a perfect game, but in the key situations, he could never really seem to figure it out.
Well, and even personnel wise, if you look at it, so again, make fun of Prochet, Judge Machine James, but like clearly he has good hands. So why not use him in the red zone? And why not put him in a situation where, maybe he doesn't have to be the fastest guy on the field, and maybe he doesn't have to be the biggest guy in the field, but having good hands would come in handy in the red zone. I feel like, why not put him in a position to succeed there? Or
I saw very few easy completions for the wide receiver core in the general, unless it was just something get it outside quick to Hollywood. Yeah. There were very few scheme of wide receiver easy catches, aside from when there's a busted coverage. But overall, that scheme was pretty vanilla, and it was kind of predictable as a fan who've only been watching them for 2 or 3 years. Like you can get a sense of like, okay, what's coming. I know they're probably gonna, just throw something out there. They're gonna probably bootleg and try to get Mark Andrews in the crossing to sit down somewhere, hoping they play zone. Or it was frustrating to watch. But again, personally, I think he did a good job. And I give y'all a little insight. I'll tell y'all something my boy did tell me. My nephew told me in their in-season meetings, he got his props from Greg. Greg told him he got open on film. He can't throw him the ball, and sometimes it just don't roll like that. So.
Well, I mean, when Greg's busy doing whatever he does until there's 5. Yeah, if he could get the play call on faster too, I feel like I would have liked him more. That was the worst part, was and sitting there. So I have a PSL. So I was at I think I went to like 5 games last year. And, sitting in the stands, I'm seeing the play clock run down and nobody's out of the huddle yet, and I'm like, what the fuck? The amount of times that I would tweet I'm gonna go break into the booth and fucking call plays for this guy so that he can get him in faster. Yeah, there were so many frustrating elements to that offense that were. But thankfully he's gone. We have Monken now, so I'm hoping that we see more up tempo, more complex passing schemes. Guys actually getting open, like you said, easy completions to the wide receiver would be nice, especially with Zay and Odell and Bateman. Like that, that would be nice to actually utilize weapons that we haven't had in a while.
Yeah, Zay is a dog, and that dude's got a different gear. That dude's got a different.
Yeah, so I actually got to watch him a couple times in college. I live in Boston, so I live down the street from BC, and I would walk over to games. Nobody goes to BC football games, so I get tickets for like $2. It was great, but nice. Yeah, he was just like, you watch him on the field. He just his change of direction, and it's just different world. Like I've never seen somebody dominate competition like that. That he's just so
typical Florida skill position guy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
He's a little extra though. He's a little extra with the twitch. I've seen it.
Ball in his hand, and it's just like he could make anybody miss. He was so much fun to watch. I'm excited for this year. And then we get a Jabo, back fully healthy. You and I are Michigan fans, so I'm sure you're looking forward to watching.
Oh, blue, man! I used to watch it on Raycom, man. I grew up in Detroit. Since I guess I fell in love with them. Desmond Howard. Yeah.
So for me, it was Charles Woodson, because that was '96. So I was 6 then. So the the Rose Bowl year, that was great. I've loved them ever since. But I'm looking forward to a job. I've been hyping him up for 2 years now. So hopefully he can make me look smart, make me look like I am. Our co-host Grant, who's not here, did not like the Ajabo pick. He wanted George Pickens. So I really need a Ajabo to have a breakout year.
Before you jumped on, I was mentioning the will that Fenway is like on my bucket list of stadiums. And growing up in Detroit, watching Michigan, all my childhood years, my nephew helped me get the big house off my bucket list. And nice. My boy put in work at Michigan. That's pretty much what got him to the NFL. I think he had like over 152 dubs. He actually scored 4. 2 of them got called back. He was like by far the best player on the field. But that was like a big moment for me, because Michigan is like my favorite. The winged helmets, the maize and blue, you can't beat that. Going in that atmosphere, like just getting that, the fan base is cool. Like it's not even an environment where you would like be hostile, like somewhere in Oakland or Las Vegas. Like I've been to games on both of those areas, and
you're
you get
scared you're
beat
gonna
up
not make it to your car.
you could get beat up for talking the wrong way. But at
Right.
Michigan, man, like they tried to feed you and love you and told you good game and wished you the best. They knew they
Unless
were
you're
going
an
to win,
Ohio
but
State fan.
it's just great. Yeah, it's a great atmosphere. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Like, I respect that Michigan fandom. Fenway's on my bucket list. I've gotten to see a few stadiums here, but yeah, I got to
Let
get
me
up to
know.
Boston.
Let me know. I got a lot of ins at Fenway, obviously. So
I will, man. I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, I'm always
Bring
there.
my baby mama.
Yeah, it's a great stadium to watch a game, and it's it's a blast. It's unique. I went to Wrigley for the first time in a while this year, so it was interesting seeing how Wrigley is versus how Fenway is. I spend fucking majority of my summer at Fenway, so kind of get a little bit jaded, seeing like an old park like that. But Wrigley was cool.
Yeah, I haven't been to Wrigley either. But I have been to the White Sox stadium. Both of these.
Yeah, my dad told me to avoid those at all costs. He said it was the most boring stadium he'd ever been to. So I was like, all right,
yeah,
fine,
it wasn't very memorable, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing about the layout, nothing about
What is it called? Guaranteed
atmosphere.
Rate Field or something like that?
Whatever.
Yeah,
I go by the
Guaranteed Rate
names
Field.
I knew as a kid. Like I still
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be Comiskey, and then now it's like Guaranteed. I think it was 7-Eleven Stadium for a while.
It
Yeah,
was it was something about a cell phone.
Cellular.
Oh yeah, U.S. Cellular Field.
U.S. Cellular.
Because they called it the cell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ghetto, but it's the South Side.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, well,
people
that was
there,
the other
so
thing
don't
is-
trip in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Well, that was the other thing is I don't think I'd do too well. I don't think I'd fare too well in the South Side of Chicago. I'm not really it'd stick out a lot there.
Folks ain't gonna,
If that's
folks don't bother you unless you wear your hat the wrong way or act out of pocket.
Yeah, then that basically describes my existence. So
Yeah, that's you seeing this person on the screen.
Well, he's not gonna walk around with his like Twitter postings or X, whatever the shit's called now, flashing on his chest. So they give you benefit of the doubt. You give me.
It depends
what's
how
my
many
guy?
beers I've had that day.
Yeah, I was about to say who you remind me of, Drew, and I can't even think of the guy's name, so I'm not even gonna insult you.
There's so many options.
It's the rapper that sounds like Ghostface that has the cooking show on Vice.
Oh, fucking you've posted pictures of me and him before, Will.
What's his name? The
Action Bronson.
Yeah.
Action Bronson. Yeah. Like physically the beard and the hat vibe. Yeah. You got bars?
Yeah, pretty. No. I have no rhythm and I have no musical abilities at all. That would be.
Hey, Mo, what are you hearing out of camp? Anything like interesting about the offense?
Receivers are getting a chance to show what they do. So here's what I know. Like there's a potential of 2 drafted guys who won't make the 53, right? And my nephew realistically is among those guys. Could be Tylen, right? But that room will get rated by the rest of the league.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Tylen and James don't make the 53. They won't be on your practice squad.
Oh yeah, right. I got you. Yeah. Did you see the depth chart that came out today?
I did. And I see old Treadwell up there, man. I used to root for Laquan at Ole Miss, man.
Yeah,
I don't know why he didn't really stick around at any team, but
me neither. We were talking about this
could be
today.
some. It could be just some growing up stuff, learning how to be a pro type thing.
Yeah. So
he's always been in bad situations too.
Yeah.
I would say that about my nephew.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
Draft night. Like I looked at my dad, who we're cool, and I was like that's how I felt. I was like, I'm glad he's drafted, but like they play like 3 tight ends. They got a 300-pound fullback. Yeah, it's not the ideal spot for a wide receiver that you want to see put up numbers and live out their dream. So situations impact all of that, and like sometimes you just got to adapt to the situation. So I don't know if Laquan was able to do that in his previous stops, or maybe he just, sometimes a player can feel they are like, I'm not going to fall in line, so I can have the opportunity to go wherever the hell I want. And some players gotta do whatever is necessary to extend a 6th-round pick to the 4th year of their deal when most are working at Home Depot or substitute teachers.
Yep.
Which, by the way, will never be the case for my boy. That SMU Connect is so profitable. So tell all the haters, it ain't gonna be no burger flipping. We'll be slinging wine, maybe.
Yeah, SMU's got more money than they know what to do
SMU
with,
is
so.
bougie, like
yeah.
private jet bougie.
Did he graduate?
He did.
Okay.
He did. Yeah, that's big in my family. All of my sister's sons have gotten their college degrees. Well, the last one is set to get it here in December. Shout out to my boy Jake Prochet at Coastal Carolina University, who will get an opportunity in somebody's rookie camp at the minimum.
Okay.
He's that good, no cap. I said this about James since he was 12, and anybody that knew me, like I knew I was a good athlete. I knew I was short. Like I'm 5'9". But I was like a 4 or 5-ish guy. I'm giving you real stuff, but I could throw up 500 pounds on the bench, would throw my head in there like Blaine Bishop. That's who I thought I was, right? I knew at 10, 11, 12, James had enough to get to a rookie camp situation, right? But he, some guys wake up at 6 in the morning, put in that work. James was one of those guys. His little brother Jacob learned that same work ethic, and he will get an opportunity. Like I told him, you'll play pro ball. It might not be at the level you dreamed about, but you don't have to get a real job. Like I got a real job. I got 4 kids, a mortgage, and neck high in debt, y'all. But
the American
somebody
dream.
looking at me right will be like, yeah, you living the American dream. I got nice square footage and all that bullshit. But it's such a blessing to be able to wake up and do what you love and go chase your dream. And my sister's boys have that opportunity. But I just want to keep y'all on the lookout for the next Prochet to hate, Mr. Jacob Prochet.
Oh, he's on our radar.
Dog.
He's on our radar.
Yeah, he's on my radar now. Is he a fan of getting up at 6 in the morning and running up mountains and posting pictures of it, or?
He wasn't, but when we had that draft party for his big bro, and he saw that phone call come in, and it was a couple teams on the phone right before Baltimore called. Like we thought it was Arizona or Kansas City, and Baltimore called, and he saw it and he realized, okay, the cliches are like actual shit. Like I didn't listen to cliches. Like I thought I knew. And a lot of kids out there think they know. Like, I'm big, I'm bad. But kids don't know shit, man. We know that. Like we can look back at our 17, 18, 19-year-old selves. Like we didn't know.
Oh yeah.
But I think having an older brother who like lived by the cliches of put in the work, maximize what you got, seeing that, it opened his eyes and he became a 6 in the morning guy. It took him the first year of JUCO. JUCO will motivate the hell out you. It'll make you quit or go hard. Like there's no in between.
Yeah, so we gotta
look out
take
for my
notes.
guy, man.
We gotta take notes here, Will, because that's that might be our next move. Is Jake Prochet.
We get we get to be first. We're first on that, right? So
I don't know. Do we start on the positive side of that one then?
Yeah,
and have,
definitely
the balancing.
Yeah. We're going to be the people who make other people hate him because we're talking about how great he is.
Do we start the Jake Prochet to Baltimore movement? I think we got to do that. I think that's got to be our. Yeah, that's our calling next year.
Hey, let's do it, man. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I mean, I've got,
and then I can keep I got like 5 Baltimore Ravens fitteds, and if James is no longer with the team, I'll probably never wear them unless I'm trying to coordinate. So yeah, that'd be cool. I get to wear my fitteds. I'm a big.
I wanted a Jabo, 2021 draft or 2022 draft, and I wanted Zay Flowers this year. I've gotten my last 2 wishes, so. I seem to get somebody seems to listen to what I want in the draft. So I think we got to start that next April. I think that's our move. Will.
Yeah, let's do it.
Who's UCLA? You guys up on like college rosters and stuff?
Yeah,
you're not really on the scouting angle. Okay, I'm gonna do some research.
That's more Grant. So Grant, one of our co-hosts, is loves that. Like we'll have like 900 person big board that he fills out for himself and knows all the names of the lower end, or not lower end, but lesser known prospects. So
Young Mel McShay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Young Mel McShay.
You saw that Mekhi Polk got cut today, right?
I did not.
So he was in that group of 3 with James.
I don't think so.
So it was like I'm looking.
I would say it was Black if I'm.
Michigan legend Tariq Black.
Like I cut you off, but were you going towards the group of 3 fighting for the last straw end of the 53
right. So when I was counting it off, I'm looking. Okay, so
I didn't have him in there, to be honest.
Yeah, and he kind of struck me as a practice squad guy anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so getting cut this early isn't really. We're looking to keep you on practice squad.
No.
Yeah, definitely
type
not.
of vibe.
It's, hey, we're gonna cut you so you can maybe catch on somewhere else.
Right. To give you an opportunity. Because honestly, I was hoping that my nephew got cut so he could choose his destination.
Right.
I've said that publicly.
You know where you want him to go.
I do.
Kansas City.
Right
He
now,
wants him to go- he
that's
wants him to go to New
second.
Orleans.
No, no.
No.
I don't trust the quarterback there. I want him to go to Denver. I want him to go to Redemption City with
You
Russ
trust
and
Russell
Sean.
Wilson. You trust
I do.
Russell Wilson.
I
Oh,
do.
man. Oh,
I trust him
I've hated-
under Sean Payton.
I think Russell Wilson was
trust
the first,
him under Sean Payton.
But I think that team is cursed, though. You see people keep getting hurt out there.
Yeah.
You think it's the curse of the Waltons?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Something.
I think it's that Denver airport shit. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
That
Illuminati
trash
stuff
ass
going on
weed
out
they
there.
got out there.
The
Yeah, that
Illuminati, isn't it? The Illuminati is like the
airport,
underneath the
I've
airport.
heard
Yeah.
that. I've heard that theory.
Yeah. There's
some,
a secret bunker. There's a secret bunker under the airport.
Right,
called
I've heard
the,
that.
apartment building. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if their football team. I mean, again, Peyton Manning goes out there, has a couple phenomenal years, and then all of a sudden, like, can't move his arm anymore and wins a Super Bowl. So there's some weird shit that goes on out there. Yeah, I don't know. I've never liked Russell Wilson. He's just something about him pisses me off.
I just think there's room for a wide receiver to make an impact in Denver.
Oh, especially with who'd they lose? Tim Patrick, I think, was the one.
And Penn State guy.
KJ
Hamler.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep pointing in the camera, clicking.
No, you're good.
I like it. Keeps me focused.
No, and he'd be reunited with the homie Cortland Sutton. Man, they was a hell of 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they were good at SMU. Yeah, they were
crazy.
They were quite the tandem at SMU.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Trey Quinn, who I believe is in the USFL. He was with Washington. He was actually Mr. Irrelevant 2018, I think.
Oh, okay.
Those guys get a Rolex, bro. They get like
Really?
a Rolex in a parade.
Yeah.
Like a nice 6-figure check.
Yeah, I only know that because of who was the Ole Miss quarterback that was Mr. Irrelevant, and I think he was on the Broncos actually. Swag Kelly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when he got drafted,
Young
that
Rebel.
was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he stayed out of people's backyards and didn't like drunkenly break into somebody's house and get his ass beat, maybe he would have worked out something in the NFL.
Yeah, I brought up Trey Quinn because, like you kind of said with Boston College, like SMU is an easy ticket to get here in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
And that was an exciting time, man. They had like 3 NFL caliber or professional caliber wide receivers. Actually, Trey Quinn had like one of the dopest touchdown celebrations I've ever seen, where he did that dance from The Office when he was with the Redskins, and he scored on Dallas. But it was a great time to watch some cheap, high-level football here in Dallas with like Cortland James and Trey Quinn putting up like thousands.
I mean, imagine vintage SMU with like legal NIL money. They would have been. They'd win the national championship.
They beat Bama. Yeah. They still have one of the, like, I don't know if y'all up on that NIL stuff, but they have a pretty big allocation or endowment as far as their collective.
Allegedly, Eric Dickerson took a pay cut to go to the NFL. So I mean, that's what that Pony Express.
I got to meet him a few times, man. Yeah, he has an aura about him.
Who was the dorky guy that his kid got Mike Leach fired? Craig James.
Craig James. Yep.
Yeah, they put his kid in the closet because he got a concussion. But
it was a shed, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what they do. I got a concussion in baseball. They threw me in a equipment closet like right away, keep you out of the light. But apparently that's a problem if your dad's an ESPN analyst. Oh, good times.
Yep. All right. Well, anything else we need to talk about?
Yeah, I think we got to touch on Clowney. We need to know if James has given you any insight on this. Jadeveon Clowney still in the Baltimore?
No, he's I don't know. I thought I read he left.
I think it said he's gonna think about it.
Josina Anderson said he stayed around though, so I don't know.
Okay, well there it is. Sounds like they might want to bring him in, give him the Justin Houston treatment.
Yeah, since Will so confidently proclaimed last week on the podcast that Justin Houston was coming back. So
I thought he was, man. I thought it was just I'll come back the last week of camp type of deal to get in, just like get caught up, but I was wrong.
I think that's got to be on Yannick.
Is a positive guy. I like his energy. I've never met him, but just the energy I get. Like I've never watched teams wired YouTube deals until I started watching the Ravens. But yeah, the vibes he gave off last year and the production, like dude was pretty productive to be, mid-30s.
Yeah,
But
he
they
looked
do
good
need
last
to
year.
replace that. I do I'm gonna be honest, like I don't focus on the defense, but I do have rooting interests in certain players. B. Stevens, he's a local guy. Pepe, I got to see him probably most of his college career. My daughter was a cheerleader at U of H, so I got to see a lot of the Texas boys play. I go to some Big 12 games, so I don't have a lot of knowledge of the interior defense, other than maybe Matabuke's presence, Pierce, but I guess outside rush is a big concern for you guys.
Well, because
Unless you
it's
think the
Owe hasn't
Nigerian
taken that.
Nightmares are going to hold it down.
Yeah, so it's Owe hasn't really taken that step yet. So like, maybe this is the year that he breaks out, has a huge year.
When has
And if he
Owe?
does,
I don't even want to talk about that. I'm like this is. I don't even want to talk negatively about it.
oh no, well, yeah. So for me, it's always like there's a world of talent there with him, and it's just somebody's got to help him put it together.
A
He's
world
got
of
all the tools.
athleticism. Yeah, a
Yeah,
world of athleticism.
yeah. I mean, anything you look at him like measurably athletically, he's a freak of nature. And
Isn't he
so it's
like
just
wasn't he like a 999
yeah, 9-9 on that.
RAS?
Yeah, like he's
Yeah.
just got that freak athleticism that you
Yeah.
can't teach, and it's just there's got to be a coach out there. That Dr. Rush maybe he's going to be the guy this year that helps him put it together.
Chuck Smith. That's what you talking about.
Yeah.
With the Falcons. That's the one team I hate. Like,
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't think anybody likes Falcons.
Yeah, that's the one team I hate. And they're their jerseys
fake
look like
birds.
old FUBU jerseys. Like shit is ugly.
Yeah, they're
You're right, they do.
Every New Jersey they put out is worse. They
just keep getting worse. Just go
Why
back
don't they
to
just
the black,
go back to the
black
Dion?
helmets.
Go back to the Dion era. With those are actually nice.
That's the one thing I'm thankful about with the Ravens is that they haven't fallen into that. We have to rebrand our jersey. Like the Ravens found jersey combinations that work and just stick with them.
Yeah,
that's what I like about the NFL. Like that's what I like about Penn State, Alabama, certain schools who just say this is right. Now Notre Dame, they fell into the money trap, man. Adidas, Under Armour, whoever sponsoring them, they'll throw out some.
Well,
some
yeah,
that's chains and flowers.
That's for the Shamrock.
But they've done that. And I'm a Michigan fan, and I don't really like Notre Dame.
No, nobody likes Notre Dame except for Will.
Catholic. Yeah. I really don't like Notre Dame.
I am, but I still don't like Notre Dame.
I'm sorry, man. No offense. I was born Catholic, though, man.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm like you, Mo. I was born Catholic, but
I was born Catholic.
Rudy was a good movie and all, but like that was a lot of years ago.
It was right.
Yeah, got to move on and win something. Got to move on and win something.
I tell you what, the only time I rooted for Notre Dame or supported them was the Jerome Bettis era. And again, I mentioned a couple of times, I grew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that's a Detroit boy out there. Look at Big Bettis.
He's the last. He's one of the last few Steelers that I didn't hate. So, I mean, you got to give him his props. He was a great player.
Yeah, and like, I'm 42, bro. Like, there's certain teams that people in my age range, like, either have a polarizing opinion on, and it's because of like TV options we have. Notre Dame with NBC. The Braves with TBS, the Cubs and White Sox with WGN and whatnot.
Yep.
I still say, like, you can put it on the board, yes. And like average folks don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm like, damn, I was a weird kid. Like, I literally been watching Sports Center since I was like 5-6 years old. Because sports, like, the reason I love this shit is it's the one truth. And it's one of the few things that is just a truth of you compete, you win, you lose, in the story.
Right.
And then whoever wants to decorate it and describe it however they want to describe it, that's cool. Sports is honest, and usually it's a result of the work you put in, the focus you had in the moment, and the way you executed. And that shit is such a parallel to life. And that's one lesson I've taught my nephews and that sports taught me. And that's why I think they've all turned out the way they've turned out. Sports forces you to look in the mirror. I was about to curse, which I have already. But it forces you to look in the mirror and analyze yourself, which is a beauty. And then on top of that, it creates platforms for guys like us to sit around and talk about it, and folks to make their dreams come true. But what's not to love about this shit, right?
Yeah, there's nothing bad about sports.
I laugh at your shit, bro.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm gonna keep real. My nephew knows who you are. Like he knows
yeah,
you're
I'm sure he does.
his
I'm
number
sure he
one
does.
hater. Like, but like the
Tell him
fact
to
that
unblock him.
like it's time. No, Twitter is a distraction. Like
That's fair.
if you absorb something and it affects you, or you want to respond and it doesn't help you accomplish the objective, to remove that. If you choose to be in front of that and you know it has this impact, then that's on you. So the objective is success. And he ain't fucking with Twitter. He on the ground. He posts and get off.
Well, see, now that I got the connect with you, when I have to post my apology this year, if he goes off, like you can just pass that along to him. He doesn't even have to unblock me to see it.
He gonna go off somewhere. It might not be in Baltimore, but he gonna get an opportunity. I just want him to be able to show what he can do. Like,
well, I mean,
Danny
wide receiver,
Amendola can have a fucking career in the NFL. I know damn well James Prochet can have a fucking career in it.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Amendola, any Patriots guy, I wish nothing but failure on.
I was first introduced to him watching local media here in Dallas. Like, he got cut from the Cowboys, and then I think he went to like the Rams.
Yeah.
He's basically your typical journeyman wide receiver. But
but for whatever reason, there's always got to be that one fucking midget that Bill Belichick turns into some great wide receiver, and I'm just like, ugh.
Indeed. Hopefully he moves up there to your area, man.
James,
I'm speaking of James, that was like big.
Then I hate that. The hate would like triple at what it is now. I can't stand Patriots. That's all Lee Evans' fault too. I grew up in Connecticut. I moved up here for college, and I lived up here in the summers before that. And until Lee Evans dropped that fucking pass in the end zone and Billy Cundiff missed, I never hated the Patriots. I was like, like not my favorite team, but like good for you guys. And then I got so much harassment for that. So now I wish nothing but failure on the Patriots and all of their players.
Oh man.
Yeah, that hate runs deep. That's years of torture from Patriots fans.
Indeed.
That I've endured.
Well, I'm with you, bro. Fuck the Patriots.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We're finding all sorts of common ground here.
I just need one 0-17 year out of them. That's all. Yeah, Tom Brady's out of the league, so I don't have to hate him anymore. Thankfully, spent a lot of.
You didn't feel a conflict with being a Michigan fan and having disdain.
Well, so I was a Greasy guy. I like Brian Greasy. So.
Man, who you telling, bro?
Yeah. So.
But once Henson, who was it? Henson that kind of. I was not a Henson supporter. I'm like, why are we giving this dude the throne, man?
Well, I mean, Henson's got a great first name, so I can't really hate on him either. Yeah.
And he got a bag out of Jerry Jones here in Dallas too.
He was in Dallas for a long time.
Yeah. Henson threw me off because then he went to the Yankees. So I was
after,
like, he played third base.
He milked the bag out of the Yankees. But hey, to be so fortunate, right?
Yeah, I was like, well, I hate the Yankees, but I liked him, so I was like, I'm totally torn here.
Man.
Yeah, that was there's been a lot of Michigan guys who go to places where I'm like, oh god, Dax Hill right now with the Bengals. Like, I'd love for him to be a great player, and the Bengals just suck. Like, that would be awesome. Yeah, it's tough watching some Michigan guys that I rooted for so hard, go to like rivals and teams that I hate. I'm like, ugh. Jabril Peppers with the Patriots a couple years ago.
Man, yeah,
right,
yeah, that was a guy because Notre Dame fan. I hate Michigan, but Jabril Peppers was like, I always want him on the Ravens.
Well, and he went to the Browns first.
Yeah, he would be such a weapon on a Ravens defense.
He might be the closest thing to Ed Reed in the league right now.
Yeah, just that like nose for the ball.
That nose for the ball and that fire that he plays with. Yeah.
And then when he gets the ball in his hand, anything can happen.
If he was, I don't know, 2-3 inches taller, like I feel like he would be a perennial All-Pro. Like, I just think that's like the one thing missing from his game is that, down deep against wide receivers, he just doesn't have that height to, break up some of those passes. It's tough being, what is he? I think he's 5'10", and it's tough going up against 6'5" wide receivers.
5'10".
Yeah.
Genetic lottery. We all can't be.
Wasn't he a two-way at Michigan?
They, ran like gadget plays for him.
Okay.
Gadget, yeah.
Because he was a Heisman finalist, right?
Yeah. It was his junior year, I think he was.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
And he was returning kicks too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
good.
Just
threat on a punt return.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just got that freak ability with the ball in space to do things that, other guys can't do.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I think that's it. You got anything else?
I think we've touched on everything. We're now waiting for James to prove me wrong.
Right.
I think the internet. I think the internet wants to see that. Most people like to celebrate my downfall. So
I do not understand why a 6th-round pick, wide receiver 5 and 6, is so polarizing to Ravens Nation. I
mean,
get a kick out of that shit. I do. I love it. I don't get it, but it's cool because he's a good guy. Like, he's a dope kid.
It's every year. It's every year the fan base, picks one of these later round guys or the UDFAs that they just want to latch onto. That's been going on since I don't know, probably 2012, I would say, since the last Super Bowl. That's kind of been the thing, is that they're like, oh, we found the next gen. And it's just,
Here's what I tell Ravens flock, man. They held on to a 6th-round pick longer than a 3rd-round 6'4" Notre Dame grad wide receiver.
And they held on to him longer than Hollywood Brown.
They received calls. I'll put this out there. There were calls. And they said no.
So that must mean that I'm going to be wrong at some point, which I
don't know. I think it's a depth piece. I just feel like the Ravens view him as a depth piece and no real plans to feature or scheme for, but just, hey, you can probably play a little here, a little there, and if we need it.
Well, and Harbaugh loves special teams, so that's the other thing.
My guy never made a tackle in his life before he got to the NFL.
Yeah, but he's got the short hands on the punts. So
that's for sure. If Ravens were true analytics, you'll take James Prochet's 8 to 9 every punt return versus Duvernay's 3 to 4 with the possibility to break one. Right. If you measure that over the length of a season, that's probably the best thing working in his favor right now. Yeah, and Duvernay is probably up. I don't want to say that. I don't know.
With the new kickoff rules
for trading.
Yeah, with the new kickoff rules. Yeah, with the new kickoff rules, I feel like that almost takes away Duvernay's home run ability.
Yeah.
That whole new rule where they can fair catch it anywhere inside. I think it's inside the 25, and it comes to the 25. Like, that kind of takes away his. That was a big thing in Duvernay's game. Is that he's not going to break it every time, but there's just that opportunity every time he touches the ball on a kick return. And now, the smart man's going to fair catch that. So now that puts, somebody like James who just has short hands, then he's not going to drop it.
They're still going to have situations where you got to take that chance,
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And that's what you would want Duve back there. He got the home run speed. And he's a playmaker with the ball in his hand.
Yeah, whereas, now they're going to have to weigh that against James is going to catch the ball and not do anything stupid with it. So,
that he will, man.
Unless it's a end around, wide receiver pass.
Ravens won't call that shit no more.
No.
But hey, don't be surprised if he does make 53 that Odell throws him a pass.
That I could see.
That's a whole that's one thing I'll give Odell his props. Odell, I had my opinions of him, didn't know him, haven't met him, but what I know how he's treated my nephew. I don't know why he's so fond of my nephew. It could be because of the situation we're going through as a family. His teammates, know their brother lost his mom. But dude has shown nothing but love to my guy. So anybody who's watching this who got preconceived notions of Odell, that dude is a genuine, caring human being. And I think Ravens fans are lucky to have him, man. That's what I learned.
I'm thrilled he's here. I'm thrilled he's here. And I can tell you exactly what it is with James is that James is probably the first guy in the facility every day.
Always.
Yeah, I'll never question his work ethic. Man's the hardest working guy in the field, besides Pat Ricard. But
I just need opportunities. I just need snaps and targets, and you'll be able to change your tune. But when you're only running 1 to 2 wide receivers out for 40 to 50% of the snaps, and then it's not gonna happen when you 4, 5, 6 in the room. But I look around that league. I look around this league, and a lot of wide receiver 4s and 5s get opportunities to make plays. So hopefully Monken brings that change.
As long as he's not taking snaps away from Pat Ricard, I'm good.
Man. Oh, Project Pat, huh?
Yeah. That's my favorite.
Project Pat finna be a pulling tackle from everything I'm reading.
I'm all in on that. I'm all in on him as starting left guard.
They're gonna hand it to him, and he's gonna run option as he pulls and
I'm in.
pitch it to
I'm in.
Lamar.
I'm in.
That's a
Anything
great
involving
role,
Pat
man.
Ricard, I'm in.
No, I like Pat Ricard. I like the dudes I've met on the team are awesome. I love how they support Channel 3, even though they get that shit for free. Listeners, you can go to www.channel3forever.com, order some merch. By the way, I designed the original sketch. Like that shit started with my family wearing some t-shirts to a game where we had a logo on it, the number 3 on the back, and Channel as the last name. It was at the big house in Michigan. The boy went crazy. We got back to SMU. Everybody's like, how can I get a shirt? We got so live, we got kicked off we were bringing boxes, handing them out, and it was like, hey, you guys have to go across the street with that merchandise. This was pre-NIL. From then, from then it kind of blew up. Teammates supported it. Don't hurt when Odell put it on his IG type shit. But yeah,
that's perfect for Odell with the 3.
Yeah, that's run by right. And yeah, Odell showed some love. Odell showed love to the gang. He helped my guy set up a charity. And we're gonna be doing some stuff here in Dallas and in the Baltimore area. One thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set up a softball tournament. That's the one thing I still can do. I'm gonna check into setting up one in Baltimore. See if I can help orchestrate that. And Drew, you should try to come on down, man.
I'm in. Let me know.
Yeah, for real. I can still play a little left center. Slap it wherever I want to. Ain't got the torque in my back no more, but I can slap it around.
College with a higher batting average than fielding percentage, so softball's
Indeed. But yeah, that's what we doing, man. So I just want to say Odell is dope, man. Y'all got a good squad, whether James is there or not. I'll root for him because I've gotten to meet some of the guys and shit. That's good. You want anybody you see love somebody you love. That's how I operate. Drew, I don't even hate you because you hate my nephew. I still love you because you're funny with it. You're unique with it. But when somebody supports who you support, I wish nothing but the best for you. And so, you guys are so cool. I wish nothing but the best for you all. Keep coming with some good shit, man. Make me laugh. If it's just mean and I'm like, this dick. But if it makes me laugh,
you gotta be funny. Yeah, you gotta be funny.
If it's funny, it's funny.
Funny's funny.
Funny is funny, man. That's how I get down, man.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, just hating to hate is not fun. You got to be clever with it.
I get why you he is polarizing. There are weirdos with my nephew's name in their Twitter bio, and I'm like, you created a profile with another man's name? There's
probably more of them. There's probably more of them than you're aware of.
I used to go outside. Yeah, there probably are.
Yeah. There's an astounding amount of them for
I might have lost some followers because a couple of them follow me.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that follow me, but I don't care about Twitter follow. I got real life friends too.
Yeah, when you went after me, they're like, that's Prochet's uncle, going after you right now, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I'm like, why do you know that?
How do they know that? I don't. Yeah. I've never said I'm his uncle unless it came up in a conversation.
Yeah,
that's not important. But
they probably.
I am his biggest supporter.
When I said, hey, by the way, when I came in and I said you're a terrible uncle, the only reason I said that is because it says uncle and brother.
Funny.
Well, it says uncle and brother in your bio. I did not know when I said that I was actually saying you were a terrible uncle to James Prochet.
Nah, man, that's me and their dad and my sister. We all grew up together. My biological father wasn't in my life, so I knew how important it was to have a male dude that root you on, support you, be positive. So I was 16 when he was born, just moved to Texas. He was my best friend. I didn't even have friends my first year in Texas, man. So I just made sure I was a guy that put positive shit in his head. Where I come from, there's a lot of guys you might end up looking up to that put negative shit in your head. Mm-hmm. And it impacts you down the line, whether you know it or not in the moment. That shit affects you. Yeah, that's all I tried to be. So I'm uncle, brother, what's in that bio, bro?
Yeah.
Dad, those are things I stand on, and that's what that's what life's about, dog.
I thought Drew was bullshitting me when we were texting each other when this whole thing was going on, and he's like, that's James Prochet's uncle, right? And I was like, Shut the
like
fuck up.
I
was like,
remember
no, it's
the
not.
exchange. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I remember the exchange, but I don't remember too many details
Yeah.
of it. But man, I'm sorry if I called you a pedophile.
Oh no, I laughed.
bro.
I laughed. So I sent it to Will, and I was like, this man came in hot. Like I respect that.
It wasn't even like
Look, I could roast. I was a lunch table beast
Yeah.
back in grade school.
Well,
was
that's
not-
what I
yeah.
was just.
It wasn't
you
like
know,
a
everyone's-
part of like a clever comeback. It was just like, you're a pedophile. It's like,
I
what?
was like,
Right,
yeah.
right.
I was like,
Dry
damn. I was
humor
like, this guy just
is
fucking.
hard, bro. Dry
I was like,
humor
this-
is hard.
I was like, this guy just fucking just hit me hard, like right
Yeah.
off the start. I was like, I like this.
I think I was like, well, he fucking roasted your ass.
Yeah, I was like-
I think that's what made me open to talking to y'all, man, because it was funny. It was witty. It was mean.
Yeah, well, I was just
like, yeah, it's got to be a little bit of all that, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you hit me hard like that back. You have my respect instantly. I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You're not a pedophile, and if you are, I still need to maintain some plausible deniability.
No, that's fair. I'm not, but I appreciate the the gesture there, and you got to do
Yeah,
it.
man. Yeah, this is fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah.
I probably drunk
This is
too
why
much
the internet's
cognac
great.
while on
Yeah.
y'all. But this
Yeah,
is fun.
I got some nice Kirkland brand bourbon here. So
Nice. I'm
Yeah.
using Deluge VSOP cognac. I don't drink Hennessy unless I'm in public looking for thotties.
yeah, that's like a magnet for him.
It is a magnet, man. I took Hennessy to a BYOB strip club, and some stripper started like
You got to be
violating
the
my
most popular
bottle.
guy there. Then.
Yeah, she violated my bottle, and I ended up with COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a true story, bro. All right, that was-
That's probably the perfect way to end that. That's
That's gonna be a perfect way to end it, I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I figured I'd end it with a little joke, man. Cheers to you, gents.
All
Thanks
right,
for the
man.
invite.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
a true story. No shame over here, man. You live life, you learn. I'll never do it again.
well, I mean, you're gonna have to come back if I'm proven wrong. So you know,
Yeah.
I would
I'm gonna
love to. I'm gonna be like,
I'm gonna need you to.
"Nah."
Yeah, I need you to dance like it won't mean anything unless you're the one dancing on my grave.
Does it
so
have to
I
be
got
with
it.
Baltimore?
No, anywhere.
All right, bet that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather it
Bet
be
that.
Baltimore.
I would
just
love
because-
for it to be with Baltimore because he loves it
Yeah.
there. He's got some like local kids he's cool with there, man. Some things he want to help do with some folks that want to get shit done there. So
I
would
mean, if
love
I can
for it.
if I can get proven wrong and it wins the Ravens football games, that's like a again another spin for me. It's like, yeah, I don't care that I'm wrong. The Ravens are winning.
Yeah, right.
Indeed, man.
Yeah.
Indeed,
Yeah.
man. So I'm hoping for it. You hoping for it. We'll see how
I'd
it
love to
shakes
be
out.
wrong. I'd love
We'll
to
see
be
how
wrong.
it shakes out, man.
All right, Mo.
All right, well,
thank
thanks
you.
for coming on, Mo.
Yep.
Much love, man. Appreciate it, man. Rest in peace, Tosh. Shout out Zone.
Zone 32.